What is up, everyone? Ohio Grudge Racing, powered by Hot Shot Secrets. How's everybody doing on this fine Monday? I don't know what everybody else's weather is like, but here in Central Ohio, 72 and sunny is amazing. Tommy, how's it going, buddy? Still a little tired from the weekend myself. Still had to get up and day job this morning. Bright and early, got to clock in at 6 a.m. So, dragging a little butt, but in good spirits, man. Mark, how's it going? Coach, what's up, Bubba? John, I try. Mr. E's and B's, what's up, brother? How you doing? Yeah, the freaking weather is beautiful, man. I didn't get to be out in it much, but it was nice at the day job that the doors open because we don't have any windows. It's just a big block building where I work, and so it's nice when the weather's nice enough they can roll the garage door open on each end of the building and let some fresh air blow through and some sunshine in. Help remind you that you're not just in a freaking hole in the wall somewhere. Man, what a weekend. Had a lot of traveling, a lot of fun, a little bit of stress. And before we get started, I might as well just get right to the meat and potatoes of the thing. I could say a million different things, man, and make a million excuses, but at the end of the day, Let's Roll was not a success, and that responsibility lays on my shoulders solely. In my mind, I'd done all the right things and all the things I'd typically do, but we just didn't get the car count. And sure, we could have said the weather, the forecast was to blame a little bit, but at the end of the day, it was a sunny day, and we still had some great racing. So, any failings of the event are my failings solely, and we had to overcome some hurdles and some obstacles, and we had some delays. It rained the day before, so we were delayed probably about 4 hours trying to get the cleanup done. And but I just want to make sure everybody's safe, And we had some water. It kept leaching up from the cracks from underneath the track, so I know that frustrated some people, and nothing I can do about Mother Nature ever, but what I can do is just stick to the principles and of being a good servant to everybody and making sure everybody's safe and makes it home. Unfortunately, sometimes in racing there are accidents, and sometimes they're bad. And so that was one thing. It breaks my heart to see my friends wreck. So, yes, I was a big stickler on making sure the track was dry enough, which took longer and added to the frustration of the day. And then we had to get the turnoff, the first turnoff closed, and there were some delays there. But listen, I gave the track a pretty tall order of things that needed to be done, and I'll tell you what, they're just a hard-working group of people, and they freaking kicked ass, man. There's, maybe it didn't happen in everybody's time frame that they wanted it to happen in, but that's just life sometimes. It just takes time to get stuff done and get it done right. And I can't say anything bad about the anybody at the track at Lassiter Mountain Dragway. I mean, everything I asked of them, they met or exceeded expectations. And I'll tell you, it was a long day. It was a long day getting the track together, getting it right, getting a few things tightened up, buttoned up. And everybody on their team just hunkered down and dug in and just did the work. They weren't lollygagging or bullshitting around. They got to work and got it done. And I can't say anything bad about them whatsoever. I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity, even though I didn't deliver like I should have. They certainly did, and Frog probably makes some of the best ribs I ever had in my life. Some of the best barbecue. Somehow or another, I think he and I are related, because now I got to get invited to every family barbecue. Yeah. I mean, that was a plus. GORT worked like a champ, man. And, nobody, I don't think anybody had any complaints about it. And people liked the lane wind lights. And I know damn sure everybody saw when the light went green, everybody knew when to go. There was no confusion. There was no nothing. I was happy with GORT. I don't think I really got any feedback that I can recall, but I didn't get any complaints, so that's a plus. Yeah, food was amazing. That barbecue was. Whew. Listen, I got a slab of ribs to come home with, and I ate them for lunch today, and I'm about to have the other half for dinner, and they're still just as good as they were Saturday. Amazing. Yeah, Frog is a magician, without a doubt. So, like I said, I think we're related. If we ain't, we are now. Hey, what's up, Cody? How's it going, man? So I take full responsibility for the turnout, and I apologize to everybody. It still ended up being a great race. It still was a great time, great racing, and that place has a lot of potential for some awesome backwards tracks. The surface isn't horrible, but it's not the greatest. There's a little humps and a couple grooves and some doop-de-doos and whip-de-whips and whatnot. But I saw some veterans not make it down, and then come back later and make it down and get going. If I had to guess, I'd say probably it got decently quick. I'd have to guess like in the high 5 range by eyeball for what that means. You know what I mean? Yeah, Bob got that new camera, man. That thing is gangster. That thing is gangster. Once he gets the hang of that, that's a game changer. And he was getting better. I went back through and watched the live feed. He was getting better as the day went on. I think after another couple events, man, that thing is a game changer. I love that thing. I know he's a little frustrated with it because he didn't have it mastered in 15 minutes, which I get that. I'm the same way, and he's invested a lot of time and money in that. So obviously he's the same as I am. Wants to deliver the best quality he can, and so it gets frustrating when that doesn't happen. But he's in the learning curve with that camera, and I think after another couple events, when he has that thing on lock, it's going to be a game changer. That thing is amazing. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. I like it. Looked good on the live feed, and everybody was clear. There was no questions, or nobody was yelling out what lane won. I hit the right lane or the left lane button, and everybody knew what was going on. So it worked out, man. I'm really happy with it. I mean, it's nerve-wracking to try and do something new, and not that I did anything overly innovative or whatever, but yeah, I'm really happy with it, man. That damn bum foot, man, slowed me down all day. Nah, yeah, that surface is like a real street. I mean, after we do a couple more events down there, I'm sure it'll come around and it'll get faster and people will figure it out. But I like it. I like it. It wasn't no mid low five passes happening. And yeah, it was tough, man. That part was tough too, but that's everywhere. You know what I mean? That's everywhere this year. It's like the whole market's flooded, but we'll figure it out, man. We're going to do another date down there this year. And I'm already working on how we can make sure that the next one is an absolute banger. Yeah, the thing with the autofocus is it's hard. It's hard. And probably if that thing has a manual, which I didn't talk to him about that, but if it has a manual focus, he may need to start, once he gets the pan and tilt and zoom worked out or it's real fluid, then move on to a manual focus setting so that he can control the focus more. Because yeah, I know that from shooting video and pictures, autofocus is great and it ain't. And for what he's doing, it's probably not the way to go. I agree, man. Once he gets that thing down, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. I don't know. Like I said earlier, you just try to do something new and different, and I'm always nervous about it. I think it was received well. I think everybody enjoyed it, and I think it functioned the way it was supposed to. And most importantly was, give the racers a good, consistent, reliable experience with minimal potential for failures or goofy stuff of the human element being attached to the light. You know what I mean? That way, nobody can ever say I was turned one way too much and they couldn't see the light properly or any other jazz, Maybe that might happen this year. So they had those barriers opened up for a first turn off, and we knew at the beginning of the day that they needed to be moved. It just ended up the guy coming to move them got there when he did, and that was just making that change was all in God's time. Once the guy got there, it was like a half-hour fix, and it was done, and we were good to go, safe. I know the racers were a little frustrated, and they were just like, "Well, we race in the streets and blah blah blah," but we're not. We're at a track pretending to street race. We're not on the streets. There's a huge difference, and that difference is I can't be liable. I'm not even talking about financially. I can't live in my heart and my mind and my soul by doing something like leaving that first turnoff opened up to where a car could run through there and run somebody's family over. I could never, I don't know how I would ever recover from knowing that I didn't do something in advance to stop the likelihood of that happening. So it was another thing that frustrated, racers. We had the rain delay, and then that ended up, the barrier placement ended up taking a little bit longer. But the fact of the matter is, I have to be the adult, and I have to look out for everybody's best interest in these situations. And I got to make sure that I do everything possible. I got to make every decision possible to make sure that everybody goes home safely. It's already sketchy and death-defying enough as it is, but most of you are friends that I've known for years, that I interact with, some monthly, some weekly, some daily, and there is no way in hell I'm going to stand at any race that I have anything to do with and make decisions that puts anybody that I care about in danger in any way, shape, or form, knowingly. And even people I don't know, you know what I mean? I have a responsibility to do, again, make sure everybody makes it home as safely as possible. It's already chaos and death-defying stunt driving, basically. We get that. Absolutely. And we're all adults. We know what we're signing up for. But I have to increase the odds for everybody to survive and go home. Yeah, there was just a bunch of events there in that region. It happens. And we had, I think the majority of the people that came were from out of the state, and had driven quite a ways to get there. I was a little disappointed. I thought, we'd get some locals there trying to defend their home track, but we didn't see any, really, by and large. What's up, Marty? How's it going? Yeah, we stumbled. Listen, we overcame. My team, we did a phenomenal job. The Lassiter Mountain Dragway, they did a phenomenal job. And out of it, we learned how to do a phenomenal, our two teams learned how to do a phenomenal job together. And like I said, even though when there's delays in racing, you can never perform fast enough as, somebody putting on the event or maintaining the track or whatever. I get it because, everybody's like ready to go, and I appreciate that. But, my main takeaway is at once racing got started, all the racers calmed down and was happy. Everybody got their fix. All the spectators that were agitated, they got their fix and they were happy. And at the end of it, the majority of the racers came by and made a point to tell me how much they liked the track, they liked the surface, and how fun it was. That they just wish it was a bigger race. And I had a handful of spectators, tell me like, "Hey, man, this was cool. I hope we see you down here again, because this was fun and we had a lot of fun." So, I mean, it was a tough journey to get to. Maybe not as huge and spectacular of a result as we would like to provide normally. But in the end, I think, it still was there were still a lot of positives to come out of it. Definitely some lessons that I learned, and definitely humbled me and motivated me to make sure how to figure out how we can put on a big gas banger, down there that would just be completely and totally unstoppable by any circumstances other than Mother Nature. Because I feel indebted to the community, and I feel like I didn't do a good enough job, and I didn't deliver like I should have. So I'm like doubly motivated now to figure this out and make it, make the next one an absolute monster. I'm going to catch up on the comments really quick, man. Yeah, we just had to, that's it. Just had to make sure everybody's safe. Like I said, I totally get it. I see their side. They're, the people that were being impatient. I understand completely. But we got to take care of everybody, man, and make sure everybody gets home safe. What's up, brother? Yeah, it is. That's on the other side of the country for me also. So um, we kind of knew going in it might not hit, and but you always hope differently. We did have that conversation, the track owners and I. Like, I don't. This might be what it ended up being. I guess there is that potential, but you always hope. You always work for the worst case scenario and hope for the best case scenario, and which is what I did. But it just didn't pan out this time, and we'll fix it. And like I said, we will make that the uncaged of the South. You know, uh, we will make some stuff happen down there and make. The facility is amazing. Um, I, that surface I think will come around a little bit after a couple more backwards races, but I'd say we probably got 2 or 3 more races down there before it gets somewhat fast. It's not a horrible surface, but it ain't going to get fast anytime soon either. Yeah, adulting is the worst decision I ever made in life, period. Absolutely, period. Yeah, it's all good, man. Like I said, we're resilient and durable, and our team is eager to come back down and prove ourselves. And man, Tess and Frog are amazing, and we appreciate their hospitality and their faith in us. And my man Weedy, listen, I think every track should have a track guy like Weedy because that dude works. Everything I gave him, I put on him. And listen, I probably frustrated him a little bit because that's his track. You know what I mean? And a track guy, maybe a track guy doesn't own the track, but that's always his track. If he's a diehard dedicated track guy, which Weedy is, he is all about that track. And it was nice at the end of the race when we were packing up and stuff. He came back down and he started, we started bullshitting about races he's seen over the years down there and memories he has, man. And that's I love that stuff too. I love to watch it. I love to hear about it. I love to talk about it. I love to dig in deep on all of it and understand it as much as possible. And Weedy's one of them cats that's just been around forever, and he knows every freaking thing about that track there is to know. And I'm telling you, that dude busted his tail. I believe he got there about 9 a.m. and he busted his tail the entire time. And I appreciate dudes like Weedy because he's a special breed that every track should have them a Weedy. Yeah, not so good. I probably need to, I probably need to take it a little easier than I do, but I can't slow down. I'm a person that can't slow down. I got to keep moving. I got to stay busy. And the problem with me is after I went to the hospital a couple weeks ago and they told me I was supposed to be off my feet for 2 weeks. So doctor's orders, I'm only supposed to be on my foot for 1 hour a day. So I come home Friday from the doctors and tried that Friday, well, the last half of the Friday, and then that following Saturday. And by that time, I was so stir crazy and whatever, I couldn't deal with it. I'm not supposed to be working, but I told work I'll be into work because I can't sit at home and do nothing. So it's probably my fault a little bit that it's still sore as it is, but I can't sit still. So it just is what it is. If it takes longer, for it to heal, but that keeps my sanity, then so be it. Well, I don't know how if you follow the Ohio Grudge Racing page, I don't know how you didn't hear about it, because I've been sharing the heck out of it. The track's been sharing the heck out of it. You got your notifications on for the track and for OGR? If not, you should check that out, because, yeah, we shared it out. We're crazy. Yeah, it's all good. Y'all did an amazing job, man. Couldn't ask for better support from a track. So it's all good. They are new to owning the track. They're about 6 or 7 months in now, maybe 8 months in now. So they do have a little bit of a learning curve also going on. But like I said, at the end of the day, they knocked it out of the park. They did a great job. They did their part, and again, I shoulder all the responsibility, because it's my job to get the cars there and get the spectators there, and those did not show up. So that has nothing to do with the track or the track staff. That one's 100% on me, and I fully take responsibility for that. Oh yeah, CJ was flying. I don't listen. CJ made his pass. The only passes he made was in the left lane, and then he goes in the final with lane choice, and he chooses the right lane that he ain't made a pass in yet, and then he wins. I mean, made a fast, nice, beautiful pass in the right lane. Probably I would not have made that risky decision, but listen, as long as I know CJ, he lives in chaos, and he's got his own logic. We'll just put it that way. You know what I mean? He's got his own logic, and sometimes he tells me stuff, and I'm like, "But I don't know, but do whatever you do," and it works, like, so I don't ever doubt him, because that was definitely his surface. You know what I mean? The CJ was born to race on a surface like that one. So I knew he would do well going in. We talked about that, but he'd only made passes in the left lane. And like I said, for the finals, he just goes over to the right with no data, no experience, no nothing. Worked out for him, but I'm a little safer, more of a safer bet kind of guy on that one. Yeah, you don't know how many feet finder jokes I've heard over the last week. Oh my God. Weedy is the older black gentleman. He was on the golf cart. He was the one standing out there with the torches, and he was the one that I don't know if the camera caught all of it, but Weedy was the one that pretty much nonstop. I mean, that dude he's a machine. He's an absolutely machine, man. And I appreciate that dude. Like I said, every track should have a Weedy, because you could tell his passion for that track, his passion for racing, and that he ain't afraid to get out there and do the work, do what needs done. I mean, that dude stood out there with the blowers, with freaking torch. I mean, he was out there. I think they went through 3 or 4 the bottles of propane, getting the track dried out where it kept seeping up through the cracks. And that dude was just out there torching the track for, man, probably 2 hours straight. No break, no nothing, just working, getting the job done, man. I'm telling you, every track needs a Weedy. Thank you. I appreciate it. We ended up having a lot of fun. Like, it wasn't a huge car count and all that jazz. And like I said, we had a lot of obstacles, but my takeaway was what a great group of racers. Even though they were frustrated, they still showed us so much patience and grace. And and they stuck it out with us. And I am humbled by that and grateful for that. You guys that showed up were just absolutely amazing, and I appreciate that. All the patience and the support. It was good to meet you too, sir. Appreciate it. Appreciate you coming down and hanging out and having some fun with us. And what the heck is this phone doing? It needs to shut up. Heck yeah. So you're on staff there this year? That'd be good. That'd be good. It's fun, man. It's fun. Yeah, it was tough. It was a lot of races. It is what it is. Like I said, I'm working on now where it won't matter. I'm gonna figure it out to invest a lot of time. I'm gonna figure out a way that it's just undeniable. You know what I mean? Like, people are gonna come. It ain't gonna matter what any other race is doing. Period. What any other race? So sorry, I got to pull up the. We had fun. Colton Smith and Hard Tire made some killer passes. He won. And then where's my stick shift guy? Darn it. Sorry, why isn't that? I don't know where the heck my stick shift dude's name is, but it was a cool little dude, even though he caused issues in the chip draw. Stick shift guy was his very first race, so you got to give him some grace on that. The poor guy come up for small tire and drew a chip, and I think it was on live feed. He created some confusion for a few minutes, and I'll admit I was a little perplexed and frustrated with that one, but I'm glad it was an easy fix. No, that track is right up CJ's alley. I mean, that's his element. He freaking, that's right where he belongs. He knows those surfaces well. So I mean, that place has a real. No, I agree with that. But the thing is, nobody's going to run no 450 on this track backwards. It ain't going to happen. They're just going to go up in smoke. This is a tricky surface. I kind of say it's probably Digger Die-ish speeds right now. And I don't think that's going to get too much faster anytime soon. It's got some smooth and some coarse spots, and you're not going to go flying down there. It's a tuner's race. If you watch the live feed, there's plenty of people who just smoke show the whole way down. So it definitely is one of those ones where you got to get going, not knock the tire off and keep going. But it's a rowdy little track. I mean, there were some rowdy passes there. Yeah, I'll be honest. I really wondered if we'd see any 550s down there. I don't think so. I think there were probably high fives, 80s probably, but that's my eye for what that's worth. I'm usually pretty decent on that one. I do know a couple of guys made some rips at the end of the night after the race was over, though, that sounded pretty badass. I just happened to be running around doing track stuff, trying to get the event closed down, but people were still allowed to test and tune. And there was a couple of monster passes, sounded like anyways. So we had, like I say, it's got a lot of potential, man. We're going to have a lot of fun there. We're going to get it figured out. And, yeah. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. He made a good pass. I don't know about a 70. I doubt anybody made a 50 pass there. It was not. I'm telling you, that track is not that fast. It won't be for a while. It'll probably take a couple more races for it to really. There's really no rubber down there. Like, it doesn't hold rubber. Like, it's not even any serious black marks down there. For one, and for two, to keep it a little more challenging and keep the surface fresher longer, I moved the water box back, or the puddle box back rather. Probably about 40 feet from the starting line. So it's not close to the starting line, and it's not going to drag a ton of glue out onto the track either. Man, kind of could be a streetcar brawl surface. I don't know. I think streetcar brawl might be a little slower than that. Well, I think it's comparable to streetcar brawl now. Streetcar brawl has had quite a few events, though. You know what I mean? So it's come around over the years. I think this one will be a little faster than streetcar brawl after a couple more events, but it's not going to get a ton faster. I know one of the guys who won by a decent margin in the first round ran a 620. I do know that. I mean, he told me what he ran. That's someone I believe. And he didn't smoke the tires. You know, he made a good pass. So it won't be super fast. It's definitely going to be a tuner's game for sure. Yeah, streetcar brawl, it just don't hold any rubber. It's so coarse, it just shreds the tires, and then it don't. Between shredding the tires and being so coarse with such deep grooves, yeah, it's crazy. That place is like a freaking Twilight Zone of. I mean, kind of like Digger Eye used to be. You know, Rockingham used to be. But now there's plenty of rubber down there, so Rockingham's quite a bit faster. But old Digger Die, you know, the first couple of years Digger Die. No. Yeah, then you need to get it together and bring it down, because nobody will be going. I don't think anybody will be going 550s there for another couple of races. I just don't, unless the next one ends up being something crazy with, you know, some big crazy amount of racers on the property, and we're just putting a ton of rounds and ton of rubber down in one event. I don't think that thing's going to get too much faster too quick. So, still had a great time. Like I said, I appreciate everybody's patience and understanding, and I'm happy everybody went home safe. I mean, the only mishap we really had was truly Creasy and the meth stain lifted ahead. But thankfully he just did that in the burnout. So it wasn't like he made a pass and the water got underneath the tire while he was making a pass. You know what I mean? So he did load up early because of that. But, you know, he didn't load up early because he wrecked the car. You know, we didn't have any accidents. Everybody went home safe. So that was definitely a blessing as well. No, I agree. That's one thing, man. Listen, if everybody on the property is running, say, between 6 and 6:30s, it don't matter. Everybody's gonna be excited about it. I get excited. I'll be excited watching somebody make a freaking an 8-second, two cars make an 8-second pass in the eighth. If it's a fender race, if it's half a fender race, I don't care how slow they are. You know what I mean? I like good tight action. There's nothing better than it. Yes, I love to see fast cars go make fast passes, but more than anything, I like to see good racing. I like to see, you know, races where they're within half a car of each other, or, you know, we're getting a little of this, and they're battling it out, you know. And I think the majority of people would agree with that statement. We could have a whole field of 500 cars on that 6 to 650 range. And as long as they were all within half a car of each other every race, everybody would be happy and they'd have so much excitement, electricity in the air. It'd be undeniable how great racing is, close racing is. No, I agree. I agree 100%. That's why I like surfaces like this. That's why I like streets um, over front side stuff. Front side stuff, it's cool to watch the fast passes happen, like I was just saying. But front side stuff, front side no prep, you know, when there's these guys are running freaking 440s, 450s, 430s at a no prep event, mm, not so much. Uh, because there's not enough of them for it to all be competitive. Like I was just making the example at the 6 to 650 range. You know, if you could have a field of 64 cars that were all running, say, between 430 and 470, then okay, because it'll be close action and it'll be a lot of, that would make it a lot more exciting and fun. But what's happening now is there's like a dozen of those guys out, and they're just kicking the shit out of everybody else, unless they miss the tune or knock the tire or something, you know. So I like to see fast racing as well, but I personally prefer close racing over faster numbers. Yeah, yeah, nope. This ain't. I mean, of course, you could have a pro line motor, but most of these guys are running. They were down there either small block Ford, small block Chevy, or LS. You know, and that's their surface. I mean, that's why I like backside stuff. Again, like I was just saying, I like where the surface is the equalizer, and everybody's got more of a chance. Um, it increases the odds. Let some wild card shit happen. Let an underdog sneak in there every once in a while and upset a big dog, and you know all that other fun, exciting, elemental stuff that is less likely to happen these days on a front side no prep. Yeah, there's Warner Woods is amazing race, and there's a lot of fast cars that go there, and it's pretty competitive, for sure. But I still feel like there's a half dozen or so that are just, at least last year. I know a lot of people are making massive upgrades this year to be competitive with those people from last year who also made upgrades this year. So, you know what I mean? We'll see what happens. Time will tell here in the next couple months how that all really plays out. But I agree. Warner Woods is fast track. And as long as you don't miss the tune up and you don't get, I mean, there are variables there that can slow people down, but the people who are fast as hell and know the track greatly reduce their risk of running a low number, based on experience driving, etc. There's the surface there has come around and it runs good. Again, I love Warner Woods. You already know that's one of my favorite races. But I like the chaos. I like the chaos / technical aspect of a backside race. You're definitely tuning more for the surface. And again, a lot more wild card shit happens. And the field is broader. If the surface can only hold, I don't know for a fact, but I'm just going to make this as an example. This weekend, if that surface could only hold a 580, well, there's probably 300 small tire cars out there right now today that could have shown up on that surface Saturday and went 580s. But then you take a front side race like Edgewater or Warner Woods, and there's, where it's going to take a mid-high 4-second pass last year anyways, and probably a mid to low now this year at Warner Woods and Edgewater. I know several of those Cincy Street Nights were won by people making 440 passes. Now, all of a sudden, you got 100-car field, and you got 3 people that are, one of those 3 people are just going to, there's going to be 3 people who dominate the entire class, and obviously only one of those 3 are going to win. I mean, that's cool. It's cool, but I'd rather see a surface regulate everybody, and again, have a lot closer action and more competitive action. What's up, brother? How you doing? How was your weekend? Appreciate you. Thank you. That's Kyle Fisher from Hot Shot Secrets, and we got to get him off the road for a week or 2 so I can get over there. We got some stuff to do together. I'm excited about it. Excited to start sharing some of this stuff with you guys. Kyle's just like the busiest man in all of frickin' racing, I swear. Dude goes all over the country like it's his job. Wait, it is. Heck yeah, man. I'm excited to see you there, buddy. Appreciate it. We're going to have some fun. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and see, I was building mine for front and backside originally, but I'm just going to, I don't want, it's a whole different level of affordability for one, and maintenance and consumables. And I'm just not about that life. I'll be honest. It sounds cool to go 430s and all that for sure. I would rather go backside track racing. I'd rather go street racing personally. And this makes more sense financially for me as well. I don't have that money. I don't have that big budget. And again, I don't know if I would want to. Maybe if I had unlimited income or whatever, but I'd much rather do street racing stuff. Not that there aren't some of those 4-second guys that can go do street stuff, because look at Frankenstein winning at the pad. I mean, next motorsport guys are hard to beat. And they've proven, the Prestons have proven that new Frankenstein Corvette can win front side, back side, streets, go down to radial events. Like, that thing performs, and they know how to get it to perform on just about any surface. So there are a few out there that are the exception to the rule, but yeah, I just don't want to do it personally. The streets is fun, for me, even though takeovers have kind of ruined it and all that jazz. But I would much rather sneak off for a grudge race, and do a street race, and grudge race somebody on the streets rather than go to the track any day of the week. And now that I got this first race and the majority of my stuff for the year taken care of, I got a few little things I got to deal with this week. But this weekend, I'm going to get back on the Blazer hot and heavy. I don't have many commitments between now and luck of the draw. So I got a few things I got to work on, but in between now and luck of the draw, which is the end of May, I want to get that Blazer done and get tested on it. And I want to get out and start filming some of these behind the wheels. I'm behind on that. I really wanted to be doing that. I'm not too far behind. I wanted to be doing that January, February-ish, but I guess March, April-ish isn't that horribly delayed. Yeah, you already know how much I love the streets. I'll go anywhere. I don't care. Yeah, I'm glad you came out. I'm glad you like the backside stuff, man. It's a blast. It's an absolute blast. I love it. How's it going, Platinum? Oh, I love that vet. And it kind of doesn't matter. I mean, they had that Mustang, and it was a killer for the times. You know what I mean? And it was a pretty versatile car as well. And then they got the vet. So, I mean, those boys put their hands on whatever. And, well, I shouldn't say boys, because dad also. But, the Prestons put their hands on stuff, and those whatever they touch does great things, or makes great improvements. So they know what they're doing, and they're very good at what they do. And I love to watch the results of their labor go down the track, for sure. It will be this fall. I think we originally had talked about like an October date, but I got to check and see what other races are going on. We might even do a November or December race while the rest of the country is at home, unable to race because of weather. Maybe that's what we need, is a good down south backside availability. Oh yeah, no, they're badass. Everything they touch, Black Betty with Perry Stanley. They got involved with his program, and that car freaking came improved greatly. It was already a badass, but then it improved greatly. Everything they touch, man, they know what they're doing. Very knowledgeable, and practical application, very good at practical application as well. It's all good, Bubba. We got plenty more for you. And I understand the whole waiting on parts deal. What's up, homie? How you doing? So, yeah, I can't wait to come back. I got to figure this out. I got to figure out something extra special and extra different. Like I said, I feel horrible. I feel like I should have done a better job for everybody. And that, thing is, people put their faith in me, and then they travel far distances as a spectator or as a racer to come to these events. And so when I don't deliver, it hurts. It doesn't hurt my pride or my ego or any of that stuff. It hurts because I hate to fail. The sting of failure is the worst pain. So we won't experience that again. I got some ideas on how to address these issues, and like I said, try and take every possible equation out of the situation, that no matter what, we'll have a good turnout. So we'll work on it, man. Oh, yes, sir. I remember you sitting there on the porch at that crappy hotel. That dude was a jerk at that hotel. I don't even stay there anymore. I stay across the street now, and that hotel's at that lodge, and it's the same price, and the hotel is way better, and the staff is way nicer. I would suggest going over there to the lodge. Oh, I appreciate it, man. I'm results driven, you know what I mean? And I didn't get the results. I didn't get the results this time for everybody. So I just got to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to get the results that everybody wants to make it a win-win situation. I don't care about myself as much, but I lost money on this deal. I lost a lot of money on this deal. The track lost a lot of money on this deal. And the whole point is to, even more so for me, was to do an event to help this track stay around. It had been closed down for almost 3 years. And, now you got new owners in here who are busting their tail, trying to breathe life back into it and help make sure that it stays around and provide this service for years to come. And so that probably stings the most, is that I failed them and I failed their cause. And I am an advocate for their cause. I'm the advocate for any track staying around. So, this next one, I got to figure it out and make sure that it's absolutely just a banger, and that, we can help this track make some profit so they can reinvest in the track, make it a better track, and better events, and more people show up, and it stays around for another 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And we can enjoy going there someday and watching our great grandkids race or something, type of thing. You know what I mean? We want to, we got to fight. We got to fight for all these tracks, because they're going away. They're going away. And if we keep letting them go away, man, then what do we got? The streets are getting harder to race on. They take our tracks from us. I don't know. Then what are we going to do? Fucking crochet? I ain't crocheting nothing. I'm racing. Yeah, I don't believe I've never been to Silver Dollar. I don't believe I've ever even heard of it. Middle Georgia, yeah. Most part, it's great, yeah. Yeah, the Lodge is the play, man. I always thought that it was going to be way more expensive than that Holiday Inn across the street, but I think it was within $1 or two. I can't remember if it was cheaper or more, but either way, it was like within $1 or two. And the rooms were a lot nicer, the people were a lot nicer, and the quick and the short of it was that guy at that Holiday Inn was the biggest jerk. The last time I think it was spring of last year. Um, he wouldn't give me a room. It was a whole big rigmarole, a bunch of bullshit. And then they would only give us a reservation for Friday, and hopefully on Saturday somebody would cancel, and we could have the room for Saturday also. We would only do the room Thursday and Friday. And so I was like, cool, I understood the situation. Even though he was a dick about it, I understood the situation, and I was willing to take the gamble, right? And I think the room was like 120 a night, Thursday and Friday. Well, Saturday comes around, and they say, oh, you can stay in your room, but now it's 270 or something for the night. And then he was just real rude, and matter of factly about supply and demand, and he didn't care. And it just felt like a little smug, smart ass scam to me. And I told him I'd rather sleep in my car than give him another penny. And I probably said several other words, and I probably made some promises to his face, because I wasn't quite as patient and graceful with assholes back then as I am now. And we packed our shit up and left, hoping we could get a hotel. We tried to go stay with Limpy and them at the hotel they were at, and it was fully booked. And we just happened to go over to the Lodge, and I was like, man, I don't even know if we can afford this, but we'll see what they charge. And it was the same price damn near, and the rooms were way nicer, and the people were way nicer. And I will never stay anywhere but the Lodge from now on, period. The hell with that freaking Holiday Inn or whatever it is across the street there. Yeah, the Lodge is the move, man. I'm in love with that place. Even staying in the old section this last time, which isn't as nice as the new section, but and it probably the old section was old, like from the 70s. But I'd still rather stay there than at the Holiday Inn across the street. Yeah, they were just, I don't know, man, just jerks. I had to look at it. I've never been to that. I've never been to that, but I like I like those little obscure tracks, little mom and pop joints. That's why I love Brown County so much. And now Lassiter, English Mountain. I love all these little small tracks that are just tucked away somewhere. Hey, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? So yeah, like I told Tess and Frog, we had to have the crappy one to go ahead and get it out of the way to have the great one. So we're gonna figure it out, and we're gonna make some great things happen down there. We just got to go back to the drawing board a little bit so we can make it undeniable, so that no matter what else is going on in the country, what are you doing, kitty? No matter what else is going on in the country, all you guys and gals want to come down and hang out with us. And instead of be anywhere else in the world. So, working on it. Like I said, I feel horrible, and I definitely feel like I owe the community, because I didn't perform. I didn't meet expectations. Granted, they were probably just my expectations, but whatever. And we're going to come back in this down there and, like I say, do something amazing. I haven't figured it out quite yet, but I'll figure out something. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. That was a great time. I had a great time with you, and you're always welcome to come hang out with me anywhere. I appreciate you. I love you, brother. I appreciate you. This is one of the dudes I talk to every day, man, and we talk about everything from racing to God to, you know, victories and defeats and everything. And man, he's a genuine real dude, man, and that's why I love him, because it's hard to find people like that these days. Y'all know that, right? I mean, I'm not the first one to say these words, but and especially in the industry, um, I've had a lot of situations with a lot of people where I've had one-way situations. I've been used and lied on and manipulated and conned and every last little whatever you want to say, you know what I'm saying? And Eddie is the exact opposite of all that shit. So I appreciate you, brother. And it's always a great time, no matter what. Oh yeah, what quality? And you're right, not holiday. And it is a quality, and you're right. And that, yeah, it is a joke. I mean, that used to be where I stayed all the time because it's a decent hotel, but yeah. Yeah, well, I'm not trying to travel the country, you know what I mean, or any of that stuff and do this like as a full-time gig. And as far as Alabama goes, I believe I found as long as until they kick me out, but they can't because we're already kind of family now. Like I said, Frog makes some best damn ribs I ever had in my life, so we're family regardless. So they can't even kick me out. Even so, I believe as far as Alabama goes, Lassiter is my home. I really fell in love with that place while I was down there, and it's got a whole dig or die or War in the Woods vibe at nighttime. It's a little foggy down there and a little eerie, you know. I believe we can create some real excitement down there and put on some bangers. Um, we just got to get eyes on that place and help people understand its potential. And we're going to have a great time down there. Yep, they are. They are. No, brother, I just like to have conversations, man. I don't know that I know much of anything, but I just like talking to you and learning from each other. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I love the do. That's the other thing I didn't even talk about. Y'all probably saw it on the live feed though. Is there's a couple of houses right there at the what would normally be the shutdown lanes. I mean, their backyard's right there. You throw a chair on the back porch and watch the racing. The guy pulled out his beautiful pink 50s Dodge pickup and parked it out there for everybody to see. And that big old bomb. I mean, wow. A big old bonfire in his yard there. And he just sat out there, which I would be that guy if I owned that house too. He just hung out. I just hang out there all the time too and watch racing. You know what I mean? Uh, Perks of ownership on that deal as far as the house goes. just hanging out, which is cool thing about national trails. There's a guy that lives at the end of national trails, and that's what he does. He'll have people come over every time we do Uncaged, and they'll be sitting on his roof, his porch roof, watching the show the whole damn night. And then we talked to him one time, man, and he's just the coolest cat you ever want to meet, man. And he's like, this is amazing. We'd never seen a race back here like this before. And he said it's also awesome that we get to see all the people that we watch on all the live feeds and the people from YouTube and all that jazz that show up. And he was naming off the people that he liked, like Boston George and Raggedy Ann and Street Racing Channel, who was there, and a few others. That was a handful of years ago. I can't remember it all, but same deal. If I lived at that house, I'd be doing the same damn thing myself. I absolutely agree, man. And that's the thing about it is it's good to be part of a good tight-knit community, man. Like I was saying a few minutes ago, I definitely have had my fair share of turds in the punch bowl in this deal, but that's such a small percentage of the people that I interact with. If I know 10,000, if I know 20,000 people through racing at some sort of personal level, there probably is fewer than 50 that are just complete and total turds. And that's the amazing thing about racing. And I get it. Listen, we're all somewhere in life and we all got our mental and emotional struggles. And so hopefully those people that I'm speaking of, I'm not speaking about anybody directly, just, those few turds in the punch bowl figure their way out in life and come on over to the happy side. It's a lot more fun on the happy side of racing. We got cookies. Hell, you come to Lassiter Mountain, got amazing ribs and pulled pork sandwiches. And, that's way more fun than being the cranky asshole. What's up, buddy? How you been? We haven't really talked much here lately. You must be, I know I've been busy though too, but you must be super busy. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So great time. I'll be honest. I thought they'd just tell me to get off the property. I probably kind of deserved it, but they want us to come back. So we're going to redeem ourselves down there, and we're going to help, help that place stay around the best we can. And, listen, I will absolutely not argue with that. I did not meet one person from Alabama that wasn't my family. And so, as far as how they talk to me and treat me, that Southern hospitality, absolutely true. Like we had a whole conversation on that Saturday when we got back to the Airbnb. One of the guys was like, I just can't believe how nice and friendly everybody was. And, sir and ma'am and all that jazz. And because you really don't hear that too much up here. And I'm probably up here, I probably sound like a weirdo because I say it as much as I do. But I said, no, man, that Southern hospitality really is a thing down there. And they just welcome you on in. That's part of my problem. And when I used to go down south to Alabama and Georgia and all that stuff, and y'all will feed a hillbilly with no self-control. I'll balloon right up. I gotta be careful. I love it. I love it. And I love every time we come down, man, anywhere down in that region, except for Florida. Florida does not know about Southern hospitality. I don't know what happened. All the New Yorkers moved down there and put a sour taste in everybody's mouth or something. But otherwise, every place else is definitely, I definitely love Southern hospitality. And if I was going to ever move out of Ohio, it would be, my people are originally from Hazard, Kentucky. So I'm not unfamiliar, you know what I mean, at all. And, but yeah, if I was ever to move out of Ohio, it would definitely be Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia area. I love the Carolinas too. I do. But it would definitely be down south. And I'd probably put all my weight back on, but so what? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, Birmingham kind of sketchy a little bit, but you'll have that in those big cities. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I absolutely love it. Oh yeah, yeah. That's where all my people originally hail from. My great grandfather worked in the coal mines down there, and he was also the sheriff of town. But he lived an hour and a half away from town on donkey. They're dirt ass poor. They grew they all lived in a small 1-room house, and I remember being young, 6, 7 years old, and just being around a little family function. And my great grandpa, which was my Popeye, had him and my great grandmother. They had 16 kids. And I remember being at a family function once and somebody saying, Popeye, why did y'all have so many kids? And he said, because we didn't have TV. You had to entertain yourself somehow. Yep, it was. That's what he slaved away in the coal mines. And he was, like I said, and he was the sheriff, which was weird because, you know, that was kind of just like a part-time, sometime kind of wannabe job. Like it was back in the early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s. But I remember him telling a story about him being in town once doing some sheriff stuff, and somebody called in and said they were coming into town to kill everybody. And I don't remember the guy's name, but the way he described it was like it was drunk Bob, and he was drunk again. And my poor grandpa had to wait for this guy to come into town. Can't remember if he walked or if he was on a mule, but either way, it took like 2 hours for this drunk bastard to make it into town with his gun to kill everybody in town. And my grandpa had to sucker punch him and put him in handcuffs and put him in a drunk tank. Yeah. But yeah, I lived up there on the mountains in a little old shack, and they grew all their own food and, made all their own clothes, that whole deal, man. And yeah, good stuff. Those are great stories to listen to when you're a little kid, man. And of course, all my hillbilly aunts and my uncles with their hillbilly wives making fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and gravy and all that other stuff all the time. Yeah. I love to eat some good food. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy how it all plays out, ain't it? What's going on, brother? How you doing? So, anyhow, I'm dog tired still from this past weekend. I just, I'm embarrassed, and I don't like being embarrassed. So, we're going to come back. We're going to figure this out. All my Alabama people, make sure you got notifications on the Ohio Grudge Racing page, and help share the daggone page down there. So when we come back, everybody in Alabama knows we're coming that loves racing, and we can get all you guys down there to help support the track in this event, and we can make it bigger, better, and have more fun. Congratulations. Wow. 354. No prep. Holy smoke. No prep on a tile floor. That's crazy. I didn't even get any traction. But, all right, everybody. I appreciate you guys. Everybody have a great week. And I don't know why I've seen I talked about this last week, but I'm going to talk about it real again. Real quick again. I'm just going to close with this one. You know, when people are making posts and they want to support other racers that are going through difficulties, that's something I've always done the best I can to help donate when I can, or share their cause, or bring situations into light the best I can to help people going through troubles. And I see like this other side of it where people got all kinds of nasty things to say. Listen, as far as my drag racing world, if I can help another human being, I'm going to help. I don't care what it is. If it's a conversation, if it's money, I don't have a lot. But listen, if I can afford to help, I will. If not, I'll tell you I can't. And I'll try to help you in other ways. But what I won't do is get on somebody's post who's going through a horrible time already and been brave enough to ask the community for help and shit talk them and their cause and their family and whatever just because I disagree with it. So listen, people who are suffering and going through horrible times, freaking, if you don't agree with something that they're doing or whatever, like your mama said, if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Just keep that shit to yourself. We should all be here to support each other as best we can. And listen, if somebody's having tragedy in their life and they've already been brave enough to reach out to the community for help, whether you agree with it or not, do your part. So your part then is to help if you can, if you agree with it. And if you don't, I just believe your part is to just keep your mouth shut. Don't go on their posts trying to ridicule them. Don't make posts trying to ridicule them or their cause. I know for a fact, as someone who suffered alone for instance, with my youngest daughter and a bunch of her, a bunch of difficulties she was having for several years. And, listen, I wish that I would have verbalized stuff more back then. And I wish I would have asked for help instead of keeping it to myself and bringing myself to a real horrible, dark place. And making lots of bad decisions out of pain and suffering and hurt. You know what I mean? So these are all real people. Just because you're on Facebook and it's words on a freaking phone screen doesn't mean these aren't real people dealing with real issues and that their lives don't matter. I know it's easy. I know technology's kind of made it easy to run your mouth because you're not standing in front of somebody who'll sock you in it. But even outside of that, if you don't have enough common sense to fear the proverbial punch to the face that you would get in a face-to-face conversation of saying those same things, maybe just think about being a better human being and think about the human element of it. And if that was your family. would you want those additional burdens cast on you by somebody who's just being a dick? All right, that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna get off here because I'll rabbit hole that one. But I appreciate all of you, man, and thank you. And the quick and the short of that last part is just continue to be a little bit better to each other, and let's all just be a little more kind. All right, have a great week. I'll talk to all of you soon.